Hey everybody! I just thought I would do a quick video and just update you on some things I've been working on, and I like to share my own personal journey and my own stories. I know it helps a lot of other people on their journey, and I just wanted to encourage everybody of the importance to really dig deep and discover who you really are on a soul level. And the soul part of you is just your energetic part, and we all have a soul story, and knowing how to access soul level information is so profound. Like, for instance, the work I'm doing now, I'm a practitioner in kind of being able to access soul level record information, and obviously all dimensions of our being are available to everybody at any point. But if you don't know how to access that information, it can be really frustrating. So that's super exciting to me, and that's why I've been drawn to this work, and I'm really excited to be able to offer this type of therapy of like helping people know who they are at a soul level, even just knowing some of the characteristics of your soul. Like, for instance, for me, I did not know. I mean, I think anybody could say I like to talk, I like to share, I like to communicate. Yeah, that's a given. But I didn't know I also had another main gifting of compassion, which, okay, I am a compassionate person. Anybody that knows me would probably say that. But like, I didn't know that my soul was actually intended to be using those gifts in order to create in my human experience. That's what we're all here for. We're physical beings with a soul, so we came here to create, and using our giftings at who we are at a soul level when we are first created. If you don't know who you are at a soul level, how can you know what to create? And how, I mean, any of us can create anything, right? We have free will to do whatever we want, but we won't get the like energetic push of energy from source when we are out of alignment with our gifts. And that doesn't mean bad or good. Like, if I wanted to go be a firefighter, I could. I'm compassionate, right? And that would be one way I could help. But I'm not. It would be out of alignment for me to do that, because I need to be communicating and have compassion with the work in my life. I just really need to be always careful to combine the two. Not everybody has two main gifts like that. I mean, my main one is communication, my secondary one is that. But like, I went into my record and found this out. It really makes a lot of sense, and it also helps me to understand that whenever I'm communicating with compassion, I automatically create an influx of energetic flow from spirit, from source, from divine, from universe, from God, whatever you want to say, because that is how my soul was created to be at its origination. And so I am very intuitive and aware of my own self and my own personality, like a lot of you are, but like, I didn't know that when I'm communicating, it has to be, in order to create abundance and really get in the flow financially and whatever else, I need to be finding a way to create them together. So I bought this tanning salon, right, a year ago, and I knew it needed to be more than just tanning, because tanning is very seasonal. So it's helping me understand where I'm not probably going to create abundance here at the tanning salon with the tanning, because my gifting and the imprint that I'm focusing on here at my work is not in the physical like that with the tanning. That doesn't exemplify my gifts at all. I mean, of course, when people come in, I'm communicating with them and showing compassion and whatever else, and I believe that probably helps me get repeat business, and people come to me because they like my safe space and my vibe and whatever else. So it's not like it's all for naught, but like, in order for me to really create abundance and manifest like and attract like what I want financially, and even in relationships and stuff like that, I've even seen it play out even in my home. Like, my gift of communication can get dysfunctional if the people I know, the communicators, people with that gifting, have to have like an audience that's actually listening to them or hearing what they have to say. And I can get on a little soapbox sometimes. I'm sure you've all seen it, and I'm working on that. But like, I need to be making sure that I'm targeting an audience where they're actually listening. Otherwise, I can go into isolation when I feel like not valued for my gifts and whatever else, and other people can get frustrated and whatever else. So it's helped me even in just my personal life, understanding who I am at soul level, but also in business now. Like, okay, I'm not going to be able to, I could work really, really, really hard to push the tanning and all my products and whatever else, but it's going to take a lot of work and a lot of stress and a lot of effort and maybe a lot of money for me to push that. I need to find my lane here and use this space, which I knew, kind of had the vision for in the beginning. I watched it evolve now, and now I'm getting clearer and clearer on who I am, and I'm now starting to see like how this is going to manifest abundance for me here after I've done all the renovations and everything. Now I'm kind of getting clear on like what I need to be doing to go forward, and knowing who I am at a soul level is really helpful, because now I can take this business that I have in the direction that I need to go in order to more easily manifest. So I need to be making sure I'm communicating, and that my communication has a level of compassion to it, which is why I put these videos out, because I know a lot of people are struggling, and a lot of people feel stuck, and a lot of people are in repeat patterns of relationships. Like, why do I keep attracting that? You know, like that same type of person over and over again. It doesn't matter who it is, different day, right? That's how I got into this work of like, what is going on with me deeper that is causing me to continue to kind of bump my head up against a wall or whatever. So that's how I found this work, and I'm just sharing with you how it's impacting me, because it could help you as well, knowing who you are at soul level. And even doing this work, and even a great Christmas gift would be to like do this fun part at least. I mean, not necessarily about clearing all the blocks and limitations and that all stuff, but just even doing the discovery of who somebody is at a soul level, and like what their soul was created to be, can be really helpful to help you know how to navigate your relationship with your spouse or your boyfriend or your family or your children. So that's why I share, because I want you to see what the benefit is of integrating who you are at an energetic level into your physical experience, and not separating that part out as if it's like a whole nother section of your life and only reserved for Sunday mornings. And like, this is like, I love helping people transform and heal and grow and create what they want and be who they are. And you don't know who you are if you don't know who you are at a soul level, because you're not just a body, right? You're not just a pretty face. You're not just a muscle man. You're and not just what you think and what you can relate to the world with your words. It's like you're also your energy part of you, your soul, your essence. And I love helping people discover who they are at a soul level, and understanding where they're having a few blocks. Like, my two main blocks are definitely in financial abundance, finances, and relationship mastery, like patterns of relationships, romantic ones. And I've done a lot of healing, and I'm at a really good place with that. And a lot of this soul work that I've done, and going in and finding out like what's happened that caused me to start that pattern or whatever, is so helpful, and it just makes so much sense. And it's very healing when you can start to really consciously understand where I started to go down that path of this or that. And I've actually had some really traumatic things happen in my soul story that created a lot of fear of like not being safe to love unconditionally, you know. So getting in maybe relationships where it was just surface level stuff, and because there was nothing deeper at risk, kind of that kind of stuff. Or even just a manifesting abundance with my spiritual gifts, because in the past I've had something traumatic happen to me where I was actually harmed because of my gifts. So there's this underlying maybe fear of using my gifts in my career, and like keeping that separate from myself and not allowing myself to really dig deep on that. So that's just, I mean, I've had some pretty intense things happen to me, but it doesn't always have to happen that way. But there is a real fear, underlying fear, and if you don't know where that's coming from, you can feel really crazy, and you can feel like it's just you and not everyone else. But when you can really start to understand, like, oh my gosh, this makes sense, like I'm this type of person at a soul level, so it's really important for me to be doing this type of thing and staying away from that. And if like I started making negative choices, just basically meaning not necessarily bad or good, but choices that were out of alignment with who I really am, that's where you start to create like blocks and restrictions that can like lead you down a path of being inauthentic and blocking your flow of vital, like divine source energy, which is what we need to create. Everybody needs energy to survive. And if we are so far gone from that, who we are, and disconnecting from our soul, we actually have to start drawing energy from other people, which makes sense when you hear about a lot of manipulative type energy people, narcissistic type people, where I really believe a lot of it is like they have looked away from the truth of who they are so much and cut off from that so much and have so many blocks and limitations in their way of receiving that vital force that they go into manipulation and control because they actually need other people's energy to survive, and they'll do whatever they have to do to get it. It just makes a lot of sense to me now, and it's really also helping me to understand the assholes in my life a little bit more and have more compassion, and to even just know that unhealed blocks and limitations in my life caused me to attract like circumstances over and over and over again, because that was unhealed things in me. And I know that's really painful to look at, like people attracting abuse, but looking at it really, really neutrally, like that's the vibe that needs to get healed in order to shift out of that type of relationship into a relationship with pure unconditional love and that kind of stuff, so that's really dramatic. But I know a lot of people struggle in relationships, and even if you get out of one toxic relationship, sometimes you find yourself in another or stuck and unable to really fully heal. That stuck feeling is so difficult. And I know I coach a lot of people who've left toxic relationships and are still struggling healing years later. So, and it doesn't have to just be in romantic relationships with their parents or your siblings or your friends or co-workers, things like that. So understanding where you played a part in that is really huge, really huge. And I just think it's super fun to know who you are at a soul level. So there's two parts of this, like the fun part of like knowing who you are at a soul level, and then uncovering that information, then adding like, okay, where, now just the useful information is what I access. There's tons of information available in the soul records, but like, I like to be practical and use this logically, like, okay, well, where did it start getting out of alignment, and what can I do to help you transform? That's my passion. So if you're looking for some really unique Christmas gifts this year, give somebody the gift of a soul blueprint reading to find out who they are. The people that I've done it for, it like usually really resonates, and sometimes somebody may like that doesn't resonate. Well, it's because they're really not living their divinity. They're really living very outside of who they are. Now, not with kids so much. Kids are usually pretty natural at knowing to stay, true and authentic, and it's then life happens and experiences happen that shift us out. It's amazing. I even see in my little guy Noah, he's only 5. I already start to see where he keeps himself small and doesn't voice how he's really feeling, and like shies away because he's kind of scanning the environment for a threat of who's going to make fun of him, and like it's already happened so little, and it'd be kind of cool to see where his blocks are. But it also gets into like compassionate connections that you have, or soul level contracts that you have with people that are usually unspoken, that are operating energetically, and just healing a lot of that and getting everything back to like zero, neutral, and resetting everything before you started making negative choices in your soul story. And sometimes it's generational too. It can help take the obligation out of a lot of relationships and heal a lot of relationships and that are kind of running on that obligation energy, that dependent energy on one another, because the souls agreed, basically, So it gets really, really deep, and I'm really super nerdy about it, and some of you may be like, oh my God, this is over my head, but the basic thing is you can know who you are at a soul level, and knowing this information can help you stay in your lane and be authentic. And a lot of times we're doing things that we're not meant to be doing, because there's no spiritual mandate. I really don't believe there's a spiritual mandate, but like really out of alignment with who we really are, and making us feel very frustrated and stuck in life because we're just not happy. So let me know if anything would, if anybody would like to do this type of thing. Christmas gifts would be a great idea to give somebody a soul blueprint reading. I could get it in written form. I usually do an audio file. I can do whatever. I'm kind of just throwing that out there. I kind of want to a la carte this service because I think it's so important. And just even give the gift to a child of knowing who they are can help really validate them and know that, no, I'm not abnormal for this. This is actually who I am. And like understanding that can just be so freeing, I think. So that was my rant. I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to say, but I'm looking at I'm taking the pieces of all my puzzle now as I've gone into my soul story, and I've already done a lot of healing work on my own, and I'm now going to be finishing up my journey on this and I'm trying to put the pieces of my puzzle together and also use my intuitive gifts. I get a lot of visions, I get a lot of dreams, I get a lot of downloads, I get songs, I get sensations. I had a really profound dream last night that actually was a really key piece of the puzzle to my soul story that's going to really help me understand and integrate another section of my thing. It's very wild. It's very fascinating. I'm so geeked out about it, but it's a little bit time consuming because it's a lot. It's a lot to go through and I'm not good at yet. Like putting all the pieces together like I would a normal puzzle. So it's kind of fun to be able to do that and use my own giftings that I've uncovered to create these soul stories. But the easy part is like helping people find out who they are at a soul level. That soul blueprint reading, so fascinating. If you're interested in information on my intuitive services, you can go to my website. It's thezenzonestudio.com. So ThezenZone studio.com. Wait. Yeah. Or just reach out to me if you're ever curious about that. And honestly, guys, this work can be done for any soul. So energy is timeless, and there's no linear time or space with energy, and so a soul, even a one that has passed on, can be accessed. And I pitched an idea to a lady who lost a baby early on of like seeing if she would want to know who that little one was at soul level, and I don't know if it'd be helpful or comforting at all, but like I definitely don't like the idea of just pretending like these bad things don't happen to people that they haven't lost loved ones. And instead I'm like, well, can I maybe gift them a soul blueprint reading so they can have a little bit more knowledge on like the soul that they lost, and to know that energy is like, it can never go away. A person's soul can never go away. It can only change and transmute. You can't get rid of energy. It just can evolve. So it's really fascinating to think about like how far this can go. So I'm here for that if anybody's interested. And sorry if it got really long-winded, but there's so much to know about the energetic part of you, and I really just want to encourage people again to not cut that part of themselves out of their life, because you're doing yourself a really big disservice to not know who you are at a soul level. And again, this has nothing to do with religion. Like I say, I was raised a certain way, okay, but I've taken what I've been raised on and what I know to be true now, and the awakening that I've had and the giftings that I have, and putting it all together, and like to just know like it's the essence and the energy that I want you to resonate with, so you can be who you're meant to be and transform. That's what I'm passionate about. So I'm wanting to share my passion with you. I've been told it helps. Nobody says a lot about it. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there, but I hope it helps somebody and it resonates with somebody. And if anybody's interested in it, reach out, okay? Because it's just so profound and life-changing, really life-changing, to really understand yourself and be like, finally, once feel validated with your experience and able to fully step into who you are, no matter what's going on in the world around you. There's so much chaos, but your internal self doesn't need to be in chaos. Okay? I mean, the world will teach you to be in that way, but it doesn't need to be in that. Okay? And the more and more centered and at peace you get here within you and understand who you are and what you're meant to do, and again, not a spiritual mandate, but just like what your gifts are, it can really help quiet the noise inside, even if there's so much noise. I don't want to add more noise to the world. I want to help bring calm and peace into people's hearts and souls, and it can be done even amidst chaos around us, because everybody else that's living in chaos and fear and illusions, like they also don't know a lot about who they are at a soul level either, and we're all just going at it blind, this feels like, but it doesn't need to be that way. You don't need to be hit, like throwing a shot in the dark. It can really be discovered, which is friggin' fascinating. The subconscious, just like, so geeked out about it. So have a good day. I'm not exactly sure what the name of this should be called. It was just sharing my journey with you on this. I can't wait to put the piece of the puzzle together and actually do the clearing work and fully put this stuff behind me and reset. Now, if I decide to make a whole bunch of new shitty choices, that will start a new pattern. But I want to clear out like everything that's happened before that I didn't know about, that I want to know about, so I can heal and grow and change and have amazingness in all areas of my life. Okay, so I want to keep you posted on that. Bye.